And, first of all, we're excited for the opportunity that we have here this week. We'd like to personally thank everybody associated with the Chick-fil-A Bowl here in Atlanta for making this such a wonderful event. We had 7 practices last week in Tuscaloosa. We kind of went back to the basics. I'm sure John and these guys were excited about it. But we had 7 really good days just trying to focus on improving as a team. We've got a tremendous challenge in front of us with Washington. These guys are extremely well coached, have a very good quarterback. They're very athletic up front. They got playmakers at the running back position, tight end position, wide receivers. So we got a tremendous challenge in front of us. The thing that we've got to do is, as a football team, you watch these bowl games and, it's been, I don't know how many days it's been since we've played, but several weeks here, and the first thing that you lose is your block protection, how to get off blocks. And you got to tackle. We kind of have a saying in our room that every play ends either with a touchdown or a tackle. So we got to find a way to get these guys on the ground.
All right. Jonathan, talk to us a little bit about what last night was like getting settled in, doing the events and the Battle for Bowl Week competitions. Was that fun for you?
Last night was fun. I mean, as a team, we enjoyed the camaraderie with each other. So, it was good to, just have a little bit of fun and unwind. But this week is all about making things normal for us and making things how they've been the whole season. I feel like the coaching staff and the coaches have done a good job of doing that with the meetings and the preparation. So it was the first good day, and we had fun afterwards.
All right, good deal. All right, same drill, guys. Raise your hand. We'll get you a microphone. Please give us your name and your affiliation and to whom you're addressing your question. Where are we going to go? Okay, right here in row 3, please, in front.
Jeff Spiegel, WBMA Birmingham. Jeremy, is this one of these pinch me, am I dreaming moments, because not too long ago you were an assistant coach at Hoover High School and you're in position to maybe win your second national championship in 4 seasons?
First of all, I'm very thankful for the opportunity that Coach Saban gave me 10 years ago. And I do have to pinch myself because there's a lot more high school coaches out there that's far more deserving than me, just kind of the right place, right time. And the big thing for me is it's about the kids, and this group of guys that we got this year is as fun a group as I've ever been around. It's exciting to see these guys, being gone from them for 3 days and just kind of seeing them when they come back in the room. It's kind of a joy to be around these guys.
All right, okay, right here in the front, second row, please. Barrett.
Barrett Sallee, Bleacher Report. Jeremy, Nick has said, countless times this season that going against a spread offense has really helped your defense in preparation for all the offenses that you see. How much has, being around this defense changed since the time you were there before in your first stint at Alabama?
I think one of the things that Coach Saban, what makes him such a really good football coach is how he adapts. And the 6 years that I was with him before, he found ways to adapt as the offense has changed in college football. He found ways to, create probably different looks for teams that we play. The 3 years that I've been gone, there has been some changes, and he's adapted to some of the things that's going on in college football.
All right, we're going next. All right, right here in the second row with Tony, please.
Tony Barnhart, SEC Network. Jonathan, when you made the decision to come back and all the reasons that went into it, you're standing here within 2 games of a national championship. Did this year go pretty much exactly the way you hoped it would?
Oh, I mean, I definitely say this year went as better than I could have ever expected. When I came back, it was a tough decision, but I had to put the faith in the resources that I was given in Coach Saban, and I think it paid off. But far from over, far from finished. Hopefully got 2 more games left. We just got to keep grinding and keep working.
All right, back here in the back, Marty.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Good morning, gentlemen. From the outside, when we look at what you guys are doing and capable of doing, we just see one of the most dominant defenses in recent memory. What do you see when you look at what you're capable of doing? Both of you, please.
I see a team that has a lot of success when we put in the work. The games we don't have success, those are probably our worst weeks of practice. So, it kind of goes hand in hand. When we practice good and do everything we're supposed to do, and go to bed on time, and just do what we got to do as a defense. We'll have the success in the game. When we don't, it's not as successful. So, as Coach Pruitt said, we can be as normal as we want to be if we don't do what we have to do.
You know, I kind of see a group of guys that believe in each other. They enjoy being around each other. You guys know when you like going to work, you're very productive, and our guys like to go to work. So that's one thing that I see, and I can't emphasize it enough. The kind of camaraderie that these guys have, how they call on each other, they believe in one each other, and they hold each other accountable. And that goes with the strong leadership that we have on this defense.
All right, back left.
Hi, I'm Cecil Hurt from the Tuscaloosa News for Coach Pruitt. Jeremy, midway through the season, you lose a guy who's potentially an All-American safety in Eddie Jackson. How did the defense change? What did you have to do differently, or was it just a case of next man up?
You know, you don't replace guys like Eddie Jackson. They're far and few between. Eddie was a tremendous leader for us. I saw him yesterday getting on the bus. He's not on crutches anymore. He's walking, got a smile on his face. I asked him if we could get a few more plays out of him on Saturday. But, you know, you can't replace a guy like that. And he still has an impact on the guys on this football team just by being there every day. You know, we lost Sean Dion in the Florida game. It's another guy there. So we just got to, you know, so it's somebody else's turn, and they'll be ready to go.
Okay, Lindsay.
Lindsay Schnell, Sports Illustrated. Jeremy, John Ross at UW is one of the most explosive players in the country. When you watch film, what stands out to you about him? Why is he so good?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
John Ross at UW is one of the best receivers in the country, one of the most explosive players. What makes him so good? What stands out to you when you watch film of him?
You know, first of all, he runs really good routes. They have a great scheme. They move him around. It's hard to predict where he's going to be. He wins 50-50 balls. You play man-to-man on him, you know, he wins the 50-50 balls. He's really good with the ball after the catch. They do a nice job with him in the screen game. He's instinctive. He's an instinctive football player. But the big thing about him to me that tells what kind of competitive spirit he's got is the way he blocks in the run game. You know, the guy gets after it in the run game, and that kind of tells you who he really is.
Okay, right here.
Nicole Auerbach, USA Today. This is for both of you. What does their quarterback, Jake Browning, do that's maybe different or more challenging than other quarterbacks you've prepared for?
All right. Jonathan, start with you.
One thing that Browning doesn't get enough credit for is his versatility. I mean, he's a very athletic running quarterback. So, I mean, after breaking down the film, time after time, you see linebackers and defensive backs just missing tackles on him and making great throws down the field. And that's something that I don't think he gets enough credit for. So that's definitely something that we've been practicing for. We're going to have to, you know, be ready for. But other than that, I mean, he's just such a poised, confident back. I mean, he trusts all his receivers, spreads the ball out evenly throughout the offense. So it's definitely going to be a good challenge for us, but we're excited for it.
You know, I'd say the big thing is he protects the football. You know, there's very few interceptions, very few turnovers, which is very important. He understands the offense. He understands what they're trying to get done. He doesn't hold the ball. He knows where he's going with the ball. He throws guys open. He's got a very good understanding of their run game. They obviously have, you know, their RPO game. He gets the ball out of his hand. But again, he can extend. He probably doesn't get enough credit for the athletic ability that he has. He can extend and be a playmaker with his feet, but he does a nice job with his eyes down the field to create explosive pass game.
Okay, right here in the front, please.
We don't have Jonathan's mic back. They need to figure out what's wrong. Jonathan's mic is not coming back.
Is that, all right,
Is that better?
yeah, let's get one of those other mics up here, please. Thank you.
How you doing?
All right, you want to try that one, Jonathan?
Is that better?
Everybody good? All right, we apologize for that. All right, we're, okay, let's get back on track here, right up here in the front, please.
This is for Coach Pruitt and Jonathan. Kerry Clark, BamaMag.com. Coach and Jonathan, there's been talk that Coach Saban had the video department go back like 8 years to back when Coach Pete was at Boise and just put a reel together of just trick plays. First of all, did he really go back 8 years? And secondly, what all did each of y'all notice on that reel?
I want to put anything past Coach Saban, so I'm not sure if he did, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did. And I mean, we watch a lot of their trick plays, and they do have a lot of trick plays. And when it comes to stuff like that, it's all about discipline as a defense, having good eye control, every man doing their job and not trying to do someone else's job. So as a defense, I feel like we're going to have success with it, but we still have to prepare and practice for it.
Yeah, I'd say that we always try to go back and look at the history of your opponent. I wouldn't say 8 years, that's probably too far. But you want to have an idea of what they've done in similar type games, and these guys do an excellent job executing what they do.
Okay, right here in the middle.
Coach Pruitt, I kind of wanted to, since Coach Saban's like a defense guy, I wanted to know how much during games, in the course of games, he's calling the plays versus you calling the plays, how hands-on he is with the defense during games.
Yeah, I would say Coach Saban's very hands-on in every part of our program, from the weight room to the nutrition to all the way down to, what we're going to wear to this press conference. So, but yes, in game day, it's a luxury. As a play caller, you got somebody to lean on. Obviously I call the plays, call the defenses, and if he has something that he likes or wants to interject, obviously he does, so.
All right, where are we going next, guys? All right, all the way back, Marty.
All right, we'll try this again since Jonathan's mic, I think, is working.
Quite simply, how good is this group and why?
Go ahead. I feel like this group can be as good as it want to be. I mean, when we're focused, doing our job, executing, communicating, running to the ball, having fun, we feel like we could be the best ever. But if we're not doing our job, guys aren't communicating, just not doing our job. I mean, anybody can move the ball on us. So I feel like it's in our hands, and we're excited for the challenges and opportunity. We love playing for one another and playing with each other, so that just makes it that much better, and we're just excited.
I think this day and time, it's hard to get one guy to do his job, much less 11 guys to do their job. I think this group has been unique in the fact that not only they know what to do, they know how to do it, and they know why it's important to do it that way. And you can find guys that can do that some of the time, but it's hard to find guys that can do that all the time. And I think that's unique about this bunch is they can sustain, they can do it. It don't matter, what's going on in the game, what the atmosphere is. I think the bigger the challenge, the more they kind of rise to the top. And I think that's what's unique about these guys.
All right, where are we going next, guys? Time for a few more. All right, up here in the front, Tony, please.
Jeremy, you talked about them taking good care of the football, but when you're plus 21 in turnovers, they're obviously forcing a lot of turnovers. What have you seen? I know you're watching their offense, but what have you seen from them and their ability to create turnovers?
I think some of that has to do with being opportunistic. As a coach, when you go to recruiting guys, you want to find guys that are ball hawks, whether they play the defensive line, linebackers, defensive backs. It's one thing to me involved in recruiting. If you sign a guy that's a defensive back and he don't intercept any passes on Friday nights, he's probably not going to intercept any on Saturday. So I think some of that's got to do with recruiting. I think some of it's got to do with those guys putting their players in places to make plays, and they've taken advantage of that.
All right, back to Marty.
Killing y'all, sorry. You guys won your league, they won their league, obviously a very talented team, yet you guys are 14-point favorites. What's the significance?
I don't think we really pay attention to that. I mean, that doesn't really mean anything. At this point, as Coach Saban would say, every team is 0-0. And to get into the playoffs, you have to be a really good team. So we're not focused on about what anything or anybody has us favored in this game, because anybody could be beat on any day. So we're just trying to go out there with a blue-collar mentality and just work and just put our best foot forward, and whatever happens, happens.
You know, I'd comment on that just kind of on top of what John said is, you know, it has nothing to do with what's happened in, you know, September, October, November, December. You know, it's the beauty about this sport. You know, that 60 minutes, who plays the best in for those 60 minutes, the best team's not going to win. It's going to be the team that plays the best for those 60 minutes is going to win the football game, and that's something we got to focus on.
All right, time for just a couple more. Anybody else? All right, we'll go back up here to the front left, please.
Jeff Spiegel, WBMA Birmingham. Jeremy, I wanted to ask you this and wanted also to get Jonathan's take on this. In all the years that you've worked with Coach Saban, how much have you maybe become like him? And you know, if Jonathan could talk about that as well.
Well, sometimes I catch myself talking to him. I'll go back home and I'll be talking to family and just catch myself saying things he would say. So I feel like in a lot of ways I am like Coach Saban, and that's not a bad thing. You know, after being under Coach Saban for so long, you start to think like him. You see how he thinks, and you see the success that it brings. So it's kind of hard not to act like that and not to follow his lead and do the things he does and talk like he talks, because it always is successful.
All right, right here in the front.
You've been to the College Football Playoff 3 straight years. Does the pain of losing that first year outweigh the winning it last year?
Yeah, I definitely say it was. Something that Coach Saban says and that we all kind of agree with is we hate losing more than we like winning. You know, so that's a game I wish I could have back, but obviously there's no do-overs in this game. So any guy who was here never has to have any motivation to work hard and play hard. So we just try to show the young guys that there's no other feeling like losing a game like that. So, I mean, I just kind of keep it in the back of my mind, just kind of work every day and just never forget about it.
All right, time for one more. All right, all the way back here in the back left, please.
For Coach Pruitt again, Jeremy, you've been through playoff situations before, and this is just a personal preference question. Do you like the month to prepare to watch that much film or so forth, or do you worry about paralysis by analysis in those situations?
No, I think, I mean, it's the same for all the teams involved, you know, so you play the hand that you're dealt and figure out the way to, you know, create the best advantage for your team.